In 1911, an incident occurred in Italy that was stranger than fiction and was not believed by anyone. It remains an unsolved mystery to this day. It involved the disappearance of an entire train with its passengers at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. The Industrial Revolution was in full swing, inventions were pouring in relentlessly, especially in the field of transportation. Various companies were trying every promotional and enticing method to attract the wealthy to their luxurious offerings, whether it be ships, cars, motorcycles, trains, or even hot air balloons. Just like the ill-fated Titanic, which carried only the elite and the wealthy, or the German airship LZ-129 Hindenburg, which has a tragic story that still terrifies people due to the hydrogen fuel. One such case involved a train from the Italian company Zanetti, and it is this story that revolves around. This Italian company manufactured a luxurious train like no other in Italy. They launched advertising campaigns everywhere to attract the wealthy to embark on a legendary journey aboard this train that would travel from Rome to Milan. A journey where they would enjoy the enchanting beauty of the Italian countryside. Zanetti promised that only a select few would be able to obtain tickets for this trip, which spurred the rich to compete in acquiring a ticket to experience this unique journey aboard the train, unaware that their fate would be sealed inside it forever. That journey, just like the Titanic, was made specifically for one legendary trip. The train consisted of 3 main carriages and carried 106 passengers, all of whom were from the elite and wealthy Italian class. The train set off in 1911, loaded with joyful passengers. After a few hours, the Zanetti train arrived at the tunnel of Mount Lombardy. This tunnel pierced through a 1-kilometer-long mountain, and it took the train only a minute to cross it. However, that 1 minute in time, the time it would take the train to travel 1 kilometer inside the tunnel, has lasted an eternity, and the train has not emerged to this day. The train entered the tunnel with its 106 passengers and has not come out of it to this day. The Italian police searched for the train on land, sea, and air, but they found nothing. It was as if the Earth had swallowed it, or it had entered a wormhole that took it to another galaxy or another planet. Only 2 passengers out of the original 106 managed to escape from the train miraculously. Their escape was like a horror action movie. They jumped from the speeding train, and when they were questioned by the police about what happened to the train and where it disappeared to and where the other passengers went, their faces displayed a state of shock and disbelief, as if they had seen supernatural creatures or witnessed a door to hell. They were not questioned further until they regained their composure. They told the investigators that as the train approached the tunnel's entrance, a white foggy layer covered the train, resembling white smoke, or at least that's how it appeared to them. This white substance began to enter the train, and its density rapidly increased until it turned into a sticky white liquid. This caused panic and fear among the passengers on the train. The 2 survivors were sitting in seats near a door, which was open, prompting them to quickly consider jumping from the train. And that's what happened. They leaped from the train, and it disappeared before their eyes without them knowing where it went. This shocking incident was not easy for the survivors, as they suffered deep psychological trauma over the years, especially with the spread of news about the train's disappearance. Combined with this terrifying story, recounted by the survivors, the Italian Railway Authority decided to close off the entrance and exit of the cursed tunnel, sealing it with stones. During the World War in which Italy was involved, a bomb fell on the tunnel, completely destroying it. The lingering question that everyone who hears the story asks is, where did the Zanetti train disappear to? Where is it now? Such bizarre incidents usually serve as fertile ground for those interested in unsolved mysteries that cannot be explained by logic or science. The confirmed fact remains that, up to the time of this video, there is no explanation for what happened to the Zanetti train or its 104 passengers. However, over the years, there have been accounts from people around the world claiming to have seen the vanished Zanetti train. 400 years ago, a monk living in the city of Modena, Italy, testified that he saw something metallic, large, with many windows, and apparently containing people wearing strange clothing. In the year 1840, something bizarre happened far from Italy and Western Europe, specifically in Latin America, in Mexico. 104 individuals appeared in the city of Mexico wearing peculiar clothes as if they had materialized out of thin air. These strange clothes did not belong to that time or region. According to their accounts, they had come from the capital of Rome, Italy, by train. However, it was well known that during that period, over 250 years ago, there were no train tracks connecting Europe to the Americas. How did they arrive in Mexico? The Mexican police did not believe their story at all and suspected them of lying or being insane. They brought in a psychiatrist named Jose Sanchez to examine these individuals and confirm their mental health. Ultimately, they ended up in psychiatric facilities. Personally, I am not aware of why the records and documents do not clarify what happened to these travelers, where they remained, or how they spent their lives. Years passed, and people gradually forgot about this incident until a narrative emerged from people near the town of Poltava in Ukraine, and also in Ukraine in an area close to the town of Zvalichi on October 29, 1955. Pyotr Ustimenko, a railway worker whose job was to monitor the signals, claimed to have seen something he had never seen before in his life. He saw a train with 3 carriages, the driver's carriage being empty, and all its windows were closed with curtains. What was even stranger was that this train had no departure record, no scheduled arrival, and no scheduled trips. Ustimenko couldn't comprehend where this train came from. The worker had never heard of the disappearance of the Italian Zanetti train, and everyone realized that the train that had passed through their station might be the vanished Italian ghost train. Some believe that the company that manufactured the train deliberately concealed what happened to it and the passengers to protect its prestigious commercial reputation. Still, it is clear that the company's plan did not go as intended. The legend of the disappearance of the Zanetti ghost train has become similar to another legend, that of the Flying Dutchman, the mythical ship that can never dock in any port in the world and will sail forever without stopping. The legendary Zanetti train has been spotted in Norway, Britain, and also Russia, but Ukraine is the country where it was most frequently seen. Ukrainian local newspapers like Pravda Ukraini and Glory of Sevastopol tracked the news of this cursed train in their publications dating back to August 12, 1992. Scientifically, there is no explanation for the disappearance of the mythical Zanetti train inside the tunnel without a trace. This has led many people who believe in supernatural phenomena to think that this train may have actually traveled through time, especially considering its appearance in Mexico in 1840, 71 years before its supposed departure in 1911. Passengers claimed they came from Rome, Italy, despite the fact that there were no railway tracks connecting Europe and Latin America, as the Atlantic Ocean separated the continents. So how did they arrive in Mexico? Some claim that this train appears from time to time and carries passengers to hell, the place where the passengers who disappeared in 1911 were taken on that cursed journey that never returned. The story of this train truly boggles the mind, and no one can precisely determine what happened to it or where it is now. All the narratives that emerge from various countries around the world cannot be definitively proven, much like when someone tells you they saw a ghost. You can't be sure if that person is lying or telling the truth. I'd like to know your opinion. Do you believe that this train could have entered a time portal and traveled to the past when it entered the tunnel? If you enjoy this type of content, please support us by subscribing to the channel and don't forget to hit the like button.